And between steps, I was struck informed. Now, I talked to somebody about it. What do you mean by that? What do you mean? Well, the way we worked it out is that one step, I was just walking down the street, and another step, I was under orders. I was under orders to leave town. I was struck informed that it was my job to get out of town. I was struck informed, and it was, you can call it what you like. Intuition, delusion, angels, I have no idea. It didn't come in words, it just, but the information was solid, it was clear, it was irrefutable. I don't know, I'm just telling you, I'm just saying. So I said back to whatever messenger, okay, I said, okay, I'll settle my bills, and as soon as I get a place to stay and a ride to either LA or San Francisco, I'm going. How's that? So, okay, good. Lady I'd met in DC called up and said hi. She was in Long Beach, which is just south of Los Angeles. She said, hi, I'm in Long Beach and I just got here and you should come on out here, and if you ever wanted a place to stay, you could stay here with me. And I walked into a bar, and there were some people I'm not sure I even knew, and they said, we're going to LA, and you should come if you want to come. And I went. So, got in the car, arrived in Southern California at the end of June in '65. The girl who put me up was working at a club called the Golden Bear in Huntington Beach. And I tried to get a few gigs, but there was nothing happening in Southern California. I mean, there were a couple of shops, but they were like, you know, an hour's hitchhike from each other and like that kind of thing. So it was very different from my village scene. And I was walking in and out of the Golden Bear, presuming on my acquaintance with one of their staff, and I was beginning to get looks. People were looking askance at me. And, you know, and I knew I was wearing out my welcome, and I probably had no room left, and the assistant manager came up and said, you want to wash dishes and bus tables? And I said, yes, please. So I did that. I was washing dishes and bussing tables and saving a little money, and I had a little place just up the street, and I didn't need a car, and life was sweet in Southern California. The climate is something else. It's like here, only not humid. And steady, you know. It varies from, especially right near the water, it goes from 65 to 71. 65 in the winter, 71 in the summer. And I was done with it. Okay, I did a month, I was fine. I was about to pull out there, and the owner said to me, wait a minute, you can't go just yet. You said you were going to accompany some acts for me, and I promised you as the accompanist. So okay, I did that. So I stuck around. I did some accompanying. I accompanied a blues singer named Lynn Hughes, an all-girls singing trio, very much like the Supremes called the Apollos, and a couple of guys. One of whom was Steve Stills. And there he was on the West Coast. That's him, yeah, and some kid. Steve called me up on the phone just a little bit later. Said, listen, I just met a guy at a party. He's a producer, and he's making a TV show based on A Hard Day's Night. You should try out. And I said, yeah, but what about you? He said, well, and I quote, they liked me all right, but they thought that my hair and teeth wouldn't be good for television, that I wouldn't be photogenic. And did I know anybody else who looked like me, who had 1/10 my talent? And I thought of you, Peter. I fixed him good. Nobody's ever heard of CSNY, right? So he was also in Buffalo Springfield, which is a wonderful. So I hung up the phone. Yeah, thanks, Stephen. You know, and he called back. He said, "No, really, you got to go." I said, "Oh, all right." If he hadn't called back, I don't think I would have gone. I wasn't going to go. So I wandered into. I got a bus up to Hollywood, and I thought, "Hey, I'm coming in here. They know Steve. I know Steve Stills. They're going to give me special treatment." And I walked in. They said, "Take a seat. Sit down over there." Cattle call. 15 guys. middle of the day. Everybody waited their turn except for this one short kid who walked through the producer's office. All cocky. Don't give it away if it's too early. He walked all cocky, and he walked out just as cocky. I said, "Who is this? Twerp!" Yeah, that's him. And the way the auditions worked is I walked into a producer's office, and he didn't say, "No, you walked into the other." They thought about it for a while, and they called me up afterwards and said, "Come on up, we're going to give you a personality test." I didn't know what this was, and you don't either, but I'm going to tell you. Unless you've seen my show before, because I did the same rap last night. A screen test, they give you a script, and you walk over here and you do the business for the window, and you come in here and you talk to the guy, and the lighting follows you in the direction. You have to memorize lines. With a personality test, they just sit you down and ask you questions. Now, Mike and Davey had personality tests, which basically saved the entire Monkey show. We shot the pilot, and they put it in front of a test audience, and it died. I mean, it went down the tube so fast that you couldn't see it for dust. And the producers looked at each other and said, "What happened?" Well, what happened was you had 4 guys disrupting everything and causing a ruckus and making life tough for everybody, and you didn't care about these guys, and get them out of here. So they thought, and then they put in Davies and Mike's personality test. And then what happened was you got to know these guys, and then you were on their side. And they tested the pilot again, and it sold. In fact, the ratings were very high. Well, I'm going to show you my personality test. Those of you at home watching television sets.
You're not going to do that. Sit down here and talk sense.
What's
that?
It's the alphabet.
I don't think to say here.
There's not much to believe that's true.
Now, truly, why? Why do you want to be a monkey?
Well, it's my natural inheritance. I mean, that's life.
Being a TV star, does that ever occur to you, man? Like, we fished you out of nowhere.
That's true. I'm eternally grateful, too. I'll do anything.
Hey, Peter, where are you from, originally?
Washington.
How'd you get out here?
It wasn't easy.
No, tell me what you did.
It was a 47 Chevy, most of the way.
Any friend that happened to there?
Well, it flew
Where about?
just outside of Las Vegas. It took all of Las Vegas with it. You may have heard about it. It was the major catastrophe of the century.
Something out of your mouth.
Yeah, interesting. It cost me $500 for the nose.
The guys look at you and say, when are you going to long hair?
No, but they often say, "Hey!" I'm ashamed of my fellow man to tell you what my fellow man actually says to me on the street. Do you know that...
What do they say?
Joe Beagle! Joe Beagle! Just because do they realize that since history, our founding fathers wore their hair long, Columbus wore his hair long, and...
Did she sing it?
I love it. Love to run their fingers through my soft, silky hair.
So, I got the part, which I hope I'll pass the audition. We made the pilot, like I said, and as I said. And then when the pilot sold, we got back together again. And the first thing the producers did was send us out to the desert to make a Kellogg's commercial for the commercial for the sponsor, because we'd never worked together before. We didn't hardly know each other. This was something of the commercial. This was the billboard kind of commercial that we made.
The Monkeys, brought to you by Kellogg.
Well, we drove out to the desert in Mike's brand new Buick Riviera, the hot car of the day. We didn't know each other. We didn't have much to say to each other. Nice day. Hungry? Pulled into a diner, sat down. Mickey and I sat here, Mike and David. And for some reason, my salad and Mickey's salad came first. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. The way I ate a salad in those days is the fork goes into the bowl, and whatever comes up on the fork goes into the mouth. Mickey must have been the same. David looks at us and says, "You pigs." He says, "Anybody would think you was raised in a barn the way you guys is eating." He was British. He knew from manners, right? Davy's salad came. He looks up at the waitress and nods his thanks. Takes his knife and fork and cuts the salad into 1-inch strips. Turns the bowl 90 degrees. Cuts the strips into 1-inch squares. Puts down his knife and fork. Picks up the pitcher of dressing. Empties it into the salad bowl. Takes his knife and fork and tosses it until each and every square inch of lettuce is dripping with chunky blue cheese dressing. Then he takes his fist, puts it into the middle of the bowl, grabs a fistful of it and smashes it in his face. That was Dave. Well, they made records without us. You may have heard about this thing. The first 2 albums they made basically without much input from any of us. A little bit here and there. And there was the first record that came out under the name of the Monkees. Now, a couple of things about that. It was, first thing is that they told me we were going to have a recording session. Great. Take my guitar in there, and they're playing the track. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, well, you didn't, and I have my guitar in my hand. They're giving, the record producers are giving me a look. Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart, in Road Clarksville, were producing the episode. They're giving me a look. Well, the track's done, Peter. We finished with the track. Well, I heard this little bit, and I thought maybe I can make a little bit of music. I can add a little something. I'll write a little part that will go on top of something they're doing. It'll make it much better. No, Peter, it's done. This is the track. We're not messing with it. We just invited you for a courtesy. Whew. Well, the record came out. It was a smash success. It was great, you know. And so, it turns out, I mean, I didn't know this at the time, but I didn't know anything about making records. But the other thing I wanted to tell you about that song is that I have come to like it a great deal, and I have re-recorded it in a very different style on a CD by my band, Peter Tork and Shoe Suede Blues, which the album is called Cambria Hotel, and this will come as a surprise. It's for sale out there now. Okay, and just give you a little bit. Take the last train to Clarksville, and I'll meet you at the station. You can be here by 4:30, because I've made your reservation. Don't be slow. Oh, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. That's the cover, the CD cover. On the B side of Clarksville was a song called Giant Step, which was written by Carole King. And I was told that Giant Step was the A side in Hawaii, because in Hawaii there are no trains in Hawaii. Mickey goes, take the last train to the luau, and I'll meet you at the gig. We'll have some silly poi, and we'll eat some hot dead pig. Oh no, no, no. So I'm going to do this. That's me in Hawaii. I was going to do a version. I'm going to do a version of Giant Step. This is not what's on the record, but it's my version. I like it better. I also recommend Taj Mahal's version. contemplated love and lost, and silence turned your heart to frost. I will melt your heart again. Remember the feeling as a child. You woke up and morning and smiled. It's time you felt like you did then. Come with me, I'm gonna take you where the taste of life is green, and every day holds wonders to be seen. Come with me to yesterday, I can take a giant step outside your mind. You stare at me in disbelief. You say for you there's no relief, but I swear I'll prove you wrong. Don't sit here in your lonely room, just staring back inside the gloom. That's not where you belong. There is no percentage in remembering the past. It's time you learn to live again at last. Come with me to yesterday that I take a giant step outside your mind. Take you where the taste of life is green. Every day holds wonders to be seen. Come with me to yesterday, I take a giant step outside your mind. Come with me to yesterday, I